Welcome back to the channel. It is Mark, the Notary Ninja, aka owner of Notary, Noble Notary Signing Service, serial entrepreneur, and we are going to talk about Blue Notary again. So, question: does Blue Notary take your customers or market to your customers? Well, yes, they do, and this is somewhat problematic. You see, we had wrote the book A Digital Pen, which I would encourage you to go get a copy of that off of Amazon. Pretty inexpensive, but we talk about the remote online notary space and how to build what we would call a book of business in remote online notary. And one of the key elements of building your book of business is your email list, getting an email list of your qualified customers, and of course, marketing to them, and then building repeat clientele. This can create a steady cash flow for you. Problem is there has been a historical trend and a continuingly ongoing trend of what we call commoditizing notaries. Basically, meaning that you, as the notary, while you are out there trying to create business, you are the product yourself for other businesses, and meaning that they are going to capitalize on you in as many ways as possible. Now, that's not really a bad thing, but it is good for you to know that this is in fact going on and uh, when and why and where it's going on. One example of this is SnapDocs, and we've talked about that, I think, before, but we'll do another video on exactly how SnapDocs does in fact exploit your notary profile for its own marketing purposes, then captures those customers and then unfortunately sells them back to you at a discounted rate. But that is a topic for another day. We're going to talk about Blue Notary. So, Blue Notary, you would use this platform, you would rent it for a fee, a monthly fee, which is typically around $30 a month. To conduct your remote online notary sessions. And then, of course, you would invite your customers to your session and witnesses and etc. to your notary session to complete the job and then to issue your fee and then of course get paid. Well, that's all well and fine, but it turns out that Blue Notary is actually going and kind of behind your back marketing to your customers as well. So in effect, stealing your customers. So how do I know this? Well, I'm going to show you a couple instances of this. So first instance here, this is I'm in Grace's inbox. So Grace does not have a ID or a user ID or a platform membership with Blue Notary. She does not do remote online notarizations, but she does serve as a witness for our customers. So our customers and clients that we acquire that we're going to do as a signing service, we're going to set them up with a remote online notary. Oftentimes, those clients will require a witness, and then she will just sit in on the notary session as a witness and can also oversee it and make sure that the notarial job is done correctly or the certificates are done right. But whatever. So, nevertheless, she has received marketing campaigns here from Blue Notary, basically directly pitching their services from Andy Blue, the founder and CEO of Blue Notary, which I don't even think that's his real name. I don't even think his actual name is actually Andy Blue. So that's a moniker. But so here is an email to, so by all means, this would have been this email as a customer. Grace would be a customer in the database of one of our online notaries that we hired, or that we could say we were her customer, meaning that we were paying her to do an online notary session, and so she could, of course, market to Grace, which isn't necessary because we're actually asking them to do the service. But so here's an example of Blue Notary kind of going behind that notary's back and pitching their services to Grace. Definitely unethical, not illegal, but it is unethical and it is happening. But let me show you another incidence of this. So this is a Facebook group, which I would encourage you to join if you are a remote online notary or you are looking to break into the online notary space, because there's a wealth of information in this Facebook group. And this is Remote Online Notary and Apostille Superstars. And the founder of the group is Greg Lorette, who's a friend of mine. He's also an online notary that we send business his way as well. And he has a comment here from one of his group members, Susan. And Susan has a post that says, "I'm livid right now. I'm receiving an email from Blue Notary and an email address that I had only used to log in and help another notary learn the platform probably about a year and a half ago. It looks like they are directly marketing to customers that notaries bring to their platform, the same customers that we market our tails off to obtain. I had to count to 100 before I sent them my seething reply. They may be a cheap alternative to some other platforms out there, but they don't direct market to your customers. In the long run, notaries are going to lose money by using them. Well, she is exactly right, because it's exactly what they are doing. And yes, you as the notary could potentially lose your customers to Blue Notary directly by them doing such a tactic. So, which is something to consider if you're going to be in this for the long haul and you're going to try to build a book of business. You certainly don't want to be partnering with a platform that you're paying a monthly fee for, that is in turn turning around behind your back and marketing to your customers. That's a very unethical, and I'm just here to serve as your sounding board for this, to let you know this happens. So uh, take that, with a grain of salt. I'm not saying to abandon Blue Notary, but I've certainly had my share of Blue Notary debacles historically, which has caused me to change my mind about them. We actually, at one point in time, were recommending them, and even we had a video on one of our other channels, which I've since taken that channel down, but that had well over 10,000 views, where when I was showing how to break into the online notary space and market, was recommending them. I actually took that video down for the sole purpose of the fact that despite all those views, that I was recommending Blue Notary, which I didn't feel ethically I could anymore. So, and as well as in our book, A Digital Pen, which again, I would recommend you go run over to Amazon or Kindle and check that out, get a copy of that book. But in that book, in the first edition, I had recommended Blue Notary, and then, of course, had to go and amend that edition and change my recommendation to not Blue Notary because of such things like this. So there you have it. Tell me what you think in the comments, and by all means, subscribe to the channel for more fresh content like this. And we'll see you guys on the next one.